Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Soul of Goodness. Transform grievous hurt, betrayal, and setback into love, joy, and compassion. By Christopher Phillips, Ph.D. Narrated by Christopher Douyard. There is some soul of goodness in things evil. Would men observingly distill it out? For our bad neighbors make us early stirrers, which is both healthful and good husbandry. Besides, they are our outward consciences, and preachers to us all, admonishing that we should dress us fairly. William Shakespeare, Henry V, Act 4, Scene 1. To suffer woes which hope thinks infinite, to forgive wrongs darker than death or night, to defy power which seems omnipotent, to love and bear, to hope till hope creates from its own wreck the thing it contemplates, neither to change nor falter nor repent. This is to be good, great and joyous, beautiful and free. Percy Bysshe Shelley, Prometheus Unbound. Foreword. Dr. Cornel West. Christopher Phillips is the greatest living embodiment of the Socratic spirit in our catastrophic times. His global grassroots movement of Socrates Cafes and democracy cafes have transformed the lives of millions of people in every continent on Earth. His brilliant and wise books have touched the minds and souls of so many of us. And his soulful style and genuine compassion have enriched the lives of us fortunate ones. When the historians write of the ugly and beautiful in our turbulent age, the Socratic words, works, and deeds of my dearest brother Christopher Phillips should loom large. Yet how did Philip Christophoros Philippou come to be the humble and towering figure so loved and respected around the world? This powerful personal and profound philosophical book is a painful, though joyful, historical self-inventory of the makings of this exemplary life. This candid text lays bare the raw realities and refined visions of his courageous quest for Plato's healthy soul and Shakespeare's soul of goodness. Like the great Percy Shelley's recasting of Aeschylus and Prometheus Bound, Christopher Phillips takes us on his own philosopher's path to be good, great, joyous, beautiful, and free. Christopher Phillips' beloved grandmother, Calliope Kavazarakis Philippou, his yaya and close reader of great Greek texts, gives him a birthday gift of Plato's Socratic dialogues and lovingly says, "You are the one who will be like his protagonist, Socrates." This prophetic pronouncement rings true like the Delphic oracle of Know Thyself to Socrates. From the village of Mandraki on the island of Nisyros on the Aegean Sea to the towns of Newport News, Virginia, and Tampa, Florida, Christopher's pilgrimage will crystallize into a tear-soaked and blood-stained struggle to carry the Socratic torch. The mysterious death of his beloved father and the magnanimous love of his magnificent wife sit at the dynamic center of this spirit-filled and quest-driven struggle. For Phillips, the examined life is worth dying for, and the committed life yields ineffable joys. To put it bluntly, the joyful and majestic dance of Christopher and Ceci, his heaven-sent wife, to Afro-Cuban Ray Barreto's acid, moved me to tears. Like Chaucer's Pilgrim and Dante's Sojourner, Phillips embodies and exemplifies the funk of loss and betrayal, hurt and grief, alongside joy and compassion. Like Hermes, Phillips helps us to learn how to see, feel, and to act more humanly and humanely through his many travels around the world. His heartfelt experience with the fragile Melinda and forceful Keisha cut deep. His multicultural explorations into Botzel-Vinnick, True Human, Ningen, In Between Persons, and Ubuntu, I Am in You and You Are in Me, of the life worlds of indigenous peoples, Japanese peoples, and African peoples, reveal the Socratic spirit at its best. One of my favorite moments is his engagement with saudade, irredeemable grief and irrepressible joy. its relations to duende and the blues come to mind. In short, this textual gem of the heart, mind, soul, and body is an intellectual feast and existential blues song of he who decided to be true to his sacred Socratic calling and empty himself of his divine and human gifts in the open streets of the world to enrich the precious lives of us all. How blessed I am to have such a sublime brother in my life. Prologue. The Wall. Hamlet had it wrong. Life's conundrum is not to be or not to be. It is to be and not to be. That is the question and the answer. Hamlet was the last mourner of his father's tragic death. All others who claimed to love and grieve over the murdered king had gotten over it and moved on. I am the last mourner of the tragic death of my own father. I will never get over it, though I have moved on, even as time has seemed to stand almost still. Unlike Hamlet, I have plotted no revenge. Dad would not want me to. I would not want me to. I do aim to set certain things to rights, but not by committing further wrongs. I owe it to my dad to do so. More than anyone, he, along with my mother, was the force and the inspiration who made it possible for me, even when he disagreed with my choices, to take on scholarly and professional pursuits that over time led me to discover just enough about who I am at my core to dedicate my life to Socrates Cafe. I launched Socrates Cafe, a global phenomenon and grassroots movement rolled into one, a quarter-century ago as one person's modest yet ambitious contribution toward making ours a more lovable and livable world. In this case, through a form of inclusive inquiry as rigorous and methodical as it is imaginative and even whimsical, at times as exhilarating as it is unsettling, illuminating, even as it sometimes muddies things up. A form of inquiry into timely and timeless questions. Where is love? How do you know when you are living an honorable life? Why should we seek to improve ourselves? In which no one emerges unscathed, and most involved feel more connected in myriad ways, not just with themselves and one another, but with their society, their world. A form of inquiry in which a primary aim is to make participants, so many of whom live on life's margins, feel seen and heard. A form of inquiry that is the epitome of love. I'm perched atop a section of the centuries-old cluster of walls of the ancient Acropolis, known as the Paleocastro, the crown jewel and erstwhile centerpiece of the diminutive island of Nisyros. One of the chain of insular Dodecanies, 12 islands in the southern Aegean Sea, it is the island from which my grandparents emigrated to the United States, not once, but twice. The remarkable ruins on the summit of this southeast Aegean island, one of several island groups that include the Cyclades, the Saronic, the North Aegean Island, the Sporades, and Crete, remain among the best-kept archaeological secrets. The surrounding sea is an impossibly deep blue at the moment, though it is subject to changes of color without notice as competing weather systems jostle and joust from every direction. The small volcanic island, with a year-round population of fewer than 1,000, has 4 villages. My father's family hails from the principal one, Mandraki, where I am staying at an inn owned by relatives. As I make my way from the village to the ancient Acropolis, I pass by immaculate agoras, public plazas where, to this day, as in Socrates' time, people barter goods as well as exchange ideas and ideals. The agoras are as well kept and dazzling white as the surrounding homes, all made in part of volcanic rocks and insulated with pumice. Once outside the village, I walk along narrow pebble streets and dirt paths that lace their winding way up and through the hills and dells before the steep ascent to the Acropolis, situated at the highest point, the precise walk that Dad and I had long planned to make together. I make the climb lost in thought much of the time, but that makes even more breathtaking. Whenever I emerge from my reverie, the terrace is splashed with bright color.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?